This week on ArtsBeat, Nelson George discusses race issues in The Help. Melena Ryzik meets with Swedish pop star Lykke Li, and a Dirty Dancing remake is in the works.
I would need your help. I want to interview you about what it's like to work as a maid. I'd like to do a book of interviews about working for white families.
The Help is a chick flick about something, which is basically set in the era of Jackson, Mississippi, at the height of the Civil Rights Movement.
You should read the book, Kelly. It's quite scandalous. It sounds like Jackson, if you ask me.
There's a tradition in Hollywood of doing films about the Civil Rights Movement, or doing films about race, and about black-white relationship particularly, from the point of view of a white character who's transformed by their relationship with black people. So that black people can have significant roles in the narrative, but often are not the central narrative character.
All right, I'm gonna do it. But I need to make sure she understands this ain't no game we playing here.
Once you get into the heart of the film, it's told primarily from the point of view of Skeeter, played by Emma Stone. They try and have it both ways. They try and give you a sense that you're seeing the film from these other black women's points of view, though the emotional arc of the story is really built around Skeeter's development and her coming of age as a writer and as a person.
I got a job today.
Where?
Writing for the Jackson Journal.
There's a lot of calculation. On one hand, will white people watch a movie where white racism is really hit as hard as possible? I just took a trip to Alabama this year, and I visited a lot of the memorials to the Civil Rights Movement down there. And what you see is the amount of violence. You see these towns where people were lynched, where people were burnt to death, where people were castrated. The strategy of the film is to allow you to feel like you're in the middle of something that's tumultuous, but not put you in harm's way. The Help kind of buffers you from the harshness of that struggle.
Will you see if Aibileen has some of that ambrosia?
Is what's in the film enough for us to satisfy the story and satisfy history? Or is history being underserved by the fact that they've made it palatable?
She looked like the winning horse at the Kentucky Derby. All them flowers and bows.
Anytime you have a major popular work that deals with the history of the United States and deals with some of the more unpleasant aspects of that history, I think it's important and it's good. And I think that the film will actually be an interesting talking point. I mean, look at it this way. If you made The Help now and you set it in LA, there probably wouldn't be any African Americans in it. The workers would probably all be Latino. So the whole discussion about immigrants and agency, social mobility, pay, working conditions. The Help not only can be a discussion about the past, but I think it can be very useful for discussion about the present.
You is smart, you is kind, you is important. Oh, that's so good.
A couple years ago, you might have found Lykke Li, the Swedish singer-songwriter, wandering around the West Village, busking, looking for an audience for her music. She grew up in Stockholm, but she spent some formative time as a musician here in New York. She moved to Bushwick in Brooklyn by herself when she was just 19. Now she's 25 with 2 albums out, and she is playing for an audience of thousands, headlining Summer Stage. We spent some time with her just a few hours before the show, wandering around her favorite tiny West Village music store, where she bought her first auto harp all those years ago.
I used to live in New York for a while when I was doing that whole thing that everybody else in the whole world has done, going to New York, following your dreams kind of thing. And I had a lot of time on my hands, and I just walked around a lot, and then I found this place, and I bought a beautiful auto harp, kind of like these ones here, which I wrote some of the songs for the new album on.
How do you choose an auto harp? What do you know?
Oh, I think it's like men too. You just connect or you don't. It's like it's a friend you can travel with. Like you can't really travel with a piano. And I don't want to be a guitar girl either. Like a lot of the sounds you hear on both records are from here.
There is your music I think is so fascinating because there's a real haunting quality to it, but it's very pop.
Yeah. No, it's not pop.
Well,
it's slop.
I feel like you could do this for hours now.
I know. I played in Washington Square Park, and I got like $50, and I was like, wow. And then now I'm playing Central Park, so it's like it feels really amazing.
This past Monday, Lionsgate announced plans to remake the beloved 1987 film Dirty Dancing. This set off a wave of negative comments from fans reluctant to see anyone tampering with the original. This won't be the first time that 80s nostalgia and the dance craze converges. Paramount Pictures will release a remake of Footloose in October, which also initially met with resistance. It may be reassuring to fans of Dirty Dancing that Kenny Ortega, who choreographed the original, will direct the remake. But the new stars will have to do more than dance well to fill the shoes of Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze.
Yes, I swear it's a truth, and I hope it